Hello, my dear fans. This is your favorite zombie channel. Today, I'm bringing you another zombie film adapted from the game of the same name. The first, House of the Dead. In the last video, I reviewed the second movie. Although both films are part of the same series, their plots are completely unrelated. So it doesn't matter which one you watch first. It won't affect the story's continuity. This first installment is indeed quite a step down from the sequel. I wasn't originally going to review it, but when I saw the director's name, I was instantly intrigued again. German director Uwe Boll loves adapting games into movies, but none of the movies he has directed has ever scored above a 3 on IMDb. In fact, he holds 5 spots on IMDb's worst movies list. Everyone knows the Oscars, an annual awards ceremony for the best films, best directors, and best actors. But what you might not know is that there's also the Golden Raspberry Awards, specifically for bad movies. It's held right before the Oscars, and this director is a recipient of the Golden Raspberry Lifetime Achievement Award. To reach such a height, this man is definitely no ordinary person. But as they say, so bad it's good. Without further ado, let's get right into it. A group of young people are heading to an island for a rave party. But because they were late, they missed the ferry to the island. Not giving up, the group finds a fishing boat and wants to hire the captain to take them there. But when the captain and his assistant, Huang, hear which island they want to go to, their expressions change instantly. They immediately refuse. Apparently, there's a terrifying legend about this island. The locals call it the Island of the Dead because there are terrible ghosts on the island. But the group obviously doesn't believe it, thinking the two are just making up stories to raise the price. So Simon directly offers $1,000. Unexpectedly, the captain agrees. It seems they're not afraid of the island's ghosts, but of not making money. However, just as the group is about to set off, 2 Coast Guard officers suddenly arrive for a routine inspection. The captain ignores them and hastily sails away from the dock. It seems there's some contraband on the boat, and he's afraid of being caught. Simon's group is eager to get to the island, so of course, they don't pay it any mind. But what they don't know is that this is a one-way trip to their doom. Meanwhile, the rave party on the island has already begun. A couple leaves the party midway to enjoy some private time on a beach. The girl wants to go for a swim and walks into the sea completely naked. The boy excitedly prepares to follow her, but the cold water instantly changes his mind. He sits on the beach, unmoved no matter how his girlfriend calls out. But as she swims, the girl vaguely feels that there's something in the water. Sensing danger, the girl quickly swims back. But when she gets to the shore, she finds her boyfriend is gone. She puts on her clothes and walks into the jungle to look for him. Unexpectedly, pushing aside the branches, what appears before her is a creepy, long-abandoned wooden house. In front of it is a large graveyard. Even in broad daylight, it sends a chill down your spine. But to find her boyfriend, the girl musters her courage and enters the house. Inside, it's even more sinister and terrifying. The next second, the door inexplicably closes by itself. The girl is startled, but still chooses to go deeper. Her missing boyfriend is indeed here, but something is very wrong with him. Before she can figure out what's going on, several terrifying monsters suddenly appear around her. Soon, Simon's group arrives at the island. The Coast Guard has also caught up, docking their boat on the other side of the island. After the group lands on the island via a raft, they immediately head to the party location according to the map. Meanwhile, the captain and Huang haven't left, as they still have to take Simon's group back later. The two quietly move a wooden box onto the island. Inside, there's indeed something they want to hide. They guess the Coast Guard might follow them, so they plan to hide the goods somewhere first. By nightfall, Simon's group finally reaches their destination. But to their surprise, the entire party site is a mess, and not a single person is in sight. What on earth happened? As everyone is wondering, Lucy suddenly finds a piece of bloody clothing on the ground. She immediately gets a bad feeling and wants to go look for the others right away. Simon and the black woman decide to go with her. Cynthia and Craig stay behind to wait. As soon as the 3 leave, the couple eagerly gets into a tent, ready for some deep conversation. But at the critical moment, Craig suddenly feels the urge to pee. He has to go to the toilet first. Cynthia, left alone in the tent, soon hears a noise outside. She thinks it's Craig playing a prank, unaware that her life is ticking away. Meanwhile, Huang is following the captain's orders, hiding the contents of the box in the jungle. Suddenly, he hears a noise from the woods. Huang, who already firmly believes in the ghost legend, is instantly terrified. Before he can even see the monster, he is killed on the spot. And the captain on the boat isn't safe either. The monsters can actually swim. They stealthily approach the boat from underwater, preparing a surprise attack on the captain. Luckily, the captain is very alert. Armed with his trusty shotgun, he blows one away. But he didn't expect there to be more than one. Then, more monsters climb onto the boat. The seasoned captain isn't flustered at all. 1 comes, he kills 1. 2 come, he kills a pair. At this time, Simon's group is still searching in the jungle and has also found the creepy wooden house. They don't sense the danger and slowly walk towards the house, unaware that a terrifying figure behind them is watching their every move. However, after entering the house, the group doesn't encounter any monsters. Instead, here, they find 3 survivors from the party. The black woman quickly asks what happened. They don't say much, because a camera recorded everything that happened. At first, everyone was just having a good time. But then a group of monsters suddenly appeared. They were like zombies crawling out of the graveyard, and they started a massacre at the party. Except for the 3 of them, who luckily survived. Everyone else was killed by the zombies. The 3 had wanted to escape by boat, but the boat was gone. Left with no choice, they decided to hide in this house. But even with the evidence right in front of her, Lucy still finds it hard to believe. Could it be a show arranged by the party organizers? But Rudy, who witnessed the tragedy firsthand, is certain that everything that happened was real. Seeing the 3 of them still shaken, it's clear they aren't lying. So they decide to immediately return to the party site, reunite with Cynthia and Craig, and leave together by boat. The group quickly returns to the party site, only to find the 2 are gone. A toppled portable toilet on the ground catches their attention. There seems to be movement inside. The 3 of them work together to flip the toilet back over. After opening the door, they find, to their surprise, Craig, covered in filth, trapped inside. It turns out he was in the middle of a bowel movement when some psycho started banging on the door outside, and then the toilet was knocked over. He's been trapped inside ever since. The foul-smelling Craig is furious, unaware that this actually saved his life. After coming to his senses, he finally remembers his girlfriend. The group immediately starts looking for Cynthia. But Cynthia, now a zombie, suddenly appears and attacks an unsuspecting man. In the nick of time, the timely arrival of the policewoman saves everyone. Then, before everyone's shocked eyes, she shoots and kills Cynthia again. Cynthia's terrifying appearance is identical to the monsters that attacked the party. Sensing trouble, the policewoman quickly radios her partner on the boat, but gets no response. And because the island is so remote, their cell phones can't contact the outside world. Right now, the only way out is to take the fishing boat. And the policewoman, who originally planned to arrest the captain, now has to prioritize everyone's safety. They immediately set off for the shore. But while crossing a wooden bridge, a zombie suddenly leaps out from under the bridge, grabbing the black woman's foot tightly. Rudy is also startled and falls to the ground, a nail piercing through his palm. The policewoman decisively opens fire on the zombie. As soon as she kills one, another one emerges from the water. The quick-thinking policewoman raises her gun for another headshot. After her pistol runs out of ammo, she immediately switches to her rifle. After the others help Rudy up, they don't have time to treat his wound. They quickly pick up the pace. However, when they reach the shore, they don't see the captain. They only see 2 zombies wandering on the boat. In a flash, Simon, wanting to swim to the boat, has already charged into the water. It's too late for the others to stop him. As soon as Simon jumps in, he sees the zombies on the boat. He immediately turns and swims back. Unexpectedly, the zombies also jump into the water and swim towards him. The policewoman provides cover fire from the shore, but the zombies in the water are hard to hit. Simon is unfortunately grabbed by a zombie. At the critical moment, a laser beam targets the zombie's head. It's the missing captain. With everyone's help, Simon finally escapes the danger. However, the group on the shore is also attacked by zombies. Rudy and the black woman manage to kill one, but the captain is ambushed and bitten on the arm. He shoots back and takes care of it. Simon curses at the corpse after getting ashore. Unexpectedly, the zombie still has one breath left and sprays Simon's face with a corrosive, unknown liquid. The policewoman immediately steps forward to finish it off, but Simon's handsome face is ruined. As they treat the captain's and Simon's wounds, the policewoman plans to return to her own boat and use its communication equipment to call for help. For safety, she gives Craig a gun and tells him to go with her. Once they successfully get on board, the policewoman will bring the boat over to pick them up. After the 2 leave, the group starts discussing where the zombies came from. Could it be some kind of mutation? The captain isn't sure either, but it seems the rumors about the island of the dead are true. Under the group's questioning, the captain tells the story of the island. A long time ago, there was a mad Spanish priest who was exiled here for committing serious crimes. But during his exile, an accident occurred. The mad priest killed the captain and crew and escaped. To evade capture, he came to this island and enslaved all its inhabitants. Anyone who tried to land on the island would die at his hands. The local residents were terrified of him. It is said that to this day, he is still on this island. Could all of this be related to that priest? Meanwhile, the policewoman and Craig, unsurprisingly, encounter more zombies. As she unleashes a full-blown assault on the zombies, Craig chooses to run for it. But Mei Shangdao, the zombies are as fast as Usain Bolt. Craig can't shake them off, no matter what. Just as he's about to be eaten, he quickly hides behind a large tree. The pursuing zombies don't spot him. After they leave, Craig prepares to make a run for it. But the next second, this time, he's not so lucky. He is quickly surrounded by zombies. Craig's fate is sealed. The 2 have been gone for a long time. The group waiting behind started to worry. What if something bad had happened to them? Or what if they just left and didn't come back? They had no weapons and no food. If the zombies attacked, they could only wait to die. Seeing everyone's panic, the captain said that they actually had weapons. He then led them to the wooden box. Opening it up, they saw it was filled with Cuban cigars. They thought the captain was smuggling cigars, unaware that what he was really selling was much more serious. Just then, the policewoman returned and gave them some bad news. The two had encountered zombies on the way. Craig's fate was unknown. Their patrol boat had been destroyed by zombies, and her partner on the boat was also missing. At this point, the captain couldn't care less. It turned out the cigars were just a disguise. The real contraband he was smuggling was the weapons hidden underneath. The policewoman didn't say much. After all, in this situation, survival was the priority. These weapons were a godsend. The policewoman urged everyone to arm themselves quickly. It wasn't safe to stay here for long. They needed to find a safe place and hold out until reinforcements arrived. It turned out that if the police station couldn't contact them, they would definitely send people to look for them. And on the entire island, only that wooden house could withstand a zombie attack. So they decided to head for the house. After everyone had chosen their weapons, the fully armed squad immediately set off for the house. But to their surprise, the outside of the house was swarming with zombies. To make matters worse, a horde of zombies suddenly appeared behind them and charged. There was no turning back now. They had no choice but to fight the zombies to the death. It turns out all fear comes from a lack of firepower. With weapons, the group was instantly transformed. Surrounded by the horde, they fought more bravely than ever. Everyone displayed amazing combat skills. All sorts of cool moves were on display. In an instant, they were mowing down the zombies. Faced with these humans who killed without batting an eye, it was the zombies who should have been running away. Especially the shotgun-wielding black woman. She was like a goddess of war descended to earth. She took down 4 with one swing, 1 zombie per shot, clean and efficient. The zombies, not to be outdone, sent out one of their top generals to face her. The zombie leaped into the air, did a 360-degree spin, and threw its axe. Seeing this, the woman jumped up from where she stood and fired a shotgun blast at the zombie in midair. In the end, she was the superior fighter, landing a precise hit on the zombie and killing it. They fought their way through and successfully reached the door of the house. Unfortunately, the front door was locked. If they forced their way in, they would break the door, making it pointless to go inside, as the zombies would just follow them in. So they had to find another entrance. By this time, the number of zombies was still increasing, forcing the group into a second battle. But this time, it wasn't so easy. The pigtail girl, who had just been on a killing spree, was instantly overwhelmed by the horde. The others were struggling to survive and couldn't spare a thought for her, as their ammunition was running low. In the chaos, the policewoman saw her mutated partner and tearfully put him out of his misery. But in a moment of carelessness, she was tackled to the ground by a zombie. At the critical moment, Rudy shot and saved her under the zombie siege. The two were separated from the main group. Fortunately, Rudy found an entrance. Unfortunately, the policewoman was out of bullets. Several zombies closed in on her. Before she could climb in, she was overwhelmed by the attacking zombies. Although Rudy tried his best to pull her in, the policewoman had lost both her legs. She died from blood loss a few minutes later. Meanwhile, the others were also in a desperate situation. They were completely out of bullets. The god of war, aura they had earlier, was gone. Only the captain, armed with a machete, was struggling to fend off the zombie attacks. But he didn't last long either and fell, viciously torn apart by the zombies on the ground. Luckily, Rudy opened the door from inside just in time. They worked together to drag the captain in. After closing the door, they were temporarily safe. Rudy and Lucy quickly treated the captain's wounds, having lost 2 teammates in an instant. Everyone's spirits were low, and because his handsome face was ruined, Simon felt like he wanted to die. What was the point of getting out alive? But the black woman, who had a crush on Simon, didn't look down on him. Instead, she took the opportunity to confess her feelings. The two became a couple on the spot. At this moment, Rudy and Lucy witnessed a strange scene. The zombies outside were dealing with the bodies on the ground. Although they didn't know what they were up to, it definitely wasn't anything good. The group began to gather their weapons and gear, preparing for battle at any moment. Luckily, Rudy still had some ammunition left in his backpack. But this little bit of ammo was clearly a drop in the ocean. Lucy accidentally found a ship's log, which recorded the priest killing the captain and escaping. It seems the legend was true. Then, to prevent a surprise attack from the zombies, they started to check the house, looking for a defensible hiding place. After some searching, the group finally found a room. Inside were countless bodies and severed limbs, as well as various pieces of experimental equipment. It looked like a laboratory. Clearly, this was all the priest's work. He was the one who created the zombies. At this time, the captain, left alone, suddenly heard Huang's voice. He dragged his injured body to the door to check, only to find the zombified Huang. The captain raised his gun and put Huang out of his misery. Hearing the gunshot, Rudy rushed over. The nearby zombies were also attracted, but the captain had no intention of going back inside. He pulled out a stick of dynamite, planning to take the zombies with him. See you in hell, boys.
Everybody get down!
He found his release, but ended up dooming the others. The massive explosion destroyed the door. The zombies outside broke in. The group could only flee to the backyard and barricade the door. Just then, Lucy found several barrels of gunpowder. If they could detonate them, they could wipe out most of the zombies. Unfortunately, there was no fuse. They had to go back to the lab to see if they could find one. But instead, they discovered that in the red liquid of a glass tank, something seemed to be wriggling. A closer look almost scared them to death. It was a lively zombie head. The black woman instinctively pulled the trigger. The red liquid inside spilled out. The moment the bodies touched the liquid, they immediately mutated and turned into zombies. It seems the red liquid was the key to reanimating the dead. Everyone immediately ran for their lives. Back to the backyard and shut the door, once again blocking the zombies inside. As the horde was about to break down the door, the black woman found a secret passage at the critical moment. They immediately hid inside. But Simon, at the back, was caught by a zombie. Knowing he couldn't escape, after his friends were safely away, Simon shot and detonated a nearby barrel of explosives. However, the secret passage wasn't safe either. Zombies would pop out from time to time. They blended in with the moss-covered walls. Before they knew it, the three of them were surrounded. To cover Lucy and Rudy's escape, the black woman resolutely stood her ground. But without her shotgun, she was like a tiger without its teeth. Her combat effectiveness was greatly reduced. In an instant, she was tackled by the zombies. Just when the two didn't know what to do, a man in a black cloak suddenly appeared and took out a zombie. Although they couldn't see his face, his figure was clearly Craig's. He gestured for the two to follow him. They followed without a second thought. Led by him, they came to an even more hidden secret room. This place was also filled with skeletons and bodies. And the man under the cloak was indeed Craig. But something seemed off about him. He remained silent in response to Lucy's questions. It wasn't until Rudy noticed the hanging bodies were zombies that he realized this person wasn't Craig. However, the surrounding zombies had already closed in. Unexpectedly, the zombies even knew how to disguise themselves. And he was none other than that mad priest. The two were captured on the spot. Under his command, several zombies pinned Rudy to a table, preparing to harvest his organs for their own use. To let Rudy die with some clarity, the priest told his story. Years ago, he was obsessed with finding the secret to eternal life, secretly conducting various human experiments. Unexpectedly, his work was exposed, and he was exiled. Along the way, he found a chance to escape and hid on this island to continue his perverted experiments. The island's inhabitants all became his test subjects. Finally, after years of effort, he made a breakthrough. He successfully developed a potion that could make blood cells multiply indefinitely, the red liquid in the glass tank. But this method had a fatal flaw. After resurrection, they would turn into rotting zombies. So, the priest made further improvements. By constantly replacing his organs with new ones, he finally achieved immortality. Right now, he desperately needed new organs. And Rudy and Lucy were perfect replacements. Learning that he was about to become a spare part, Rudy exploded with rage, breaking free from his restraints. Lucy also took the opportunity to grab a sword and counterattack, stabbing the priest hard. The two quickly ran outside. On the way, Rudy accidentally found a grenade on a corpse. While escaping, he pulled the pin and threw it. But just as the two were celebrating their escape, the resilient priest walked out from inside. The final battle immediately began, but they were no match for the priest. Rudy was knocked down first. Lucy was also stabbed in the chest with a sword. Seeing this, Rudy flew into a rage. While the priest was distracted, he picked up an axe from the ground and instantly chopped off his head. But to their surprise, even without a head, the priest was still alive and kicking. He turned around and choked Rudy by the neck.
更让我没想到，
Was that Lucy wasn't dead either. Perhaps the wound wasn't that deep. She could even grit her teeth and stand up. Lucy intended to destroy the priest's head, to see if she could kill him for good. She stomped hard on the head on the ground. As the head shattered into pieces, the priest's body instantly became immobile and fell to the ground. This time, he was finally dead for good, and Lucy couldn't hold on any longer, collapsing to the ground.
等到危机解除后，
The rescue helicopter finally arrived. In the end, only Lucy and Rudy were successfully rescued. After watching this zombie movie, I can only say that the Golden Raspberry Lifetime Achievement Award is well-deserved. A plot with absolutely no logic, bizarre camera work. The main characters instantly become gods of war when they get weapons. But once the bullets run out, they turn into low IQ weaklings. The fight scenes with the zombies are painfully long and drawn out. Every character gets a very silly slow-motion shot and close-up. During all this, they also insert a lot of jarring game footage. It's just speechless. Actually, regarding Uwe Boll, there's an interesting story. Because his movies were so bad, he attracted countless ma from film critics. But he was not convinced, and issued a challenge to those who criticized him. What's the big deal about talking trash online? Come and face me in real life if you have the guts. He set up a boxing ring, ready to let his fists do the talking. Unexpectedly, after the post went up, 15 film critics actually accepted the challenge. In the end, Uwe Boll chose 4 opponents. Everyone thought the critics would represent the audience and give him a good beating. But the result was very unexpected. Uwe Boll, with his overwhelming strength, knocked out all the film critics one by one. Who would have thought that before becoming a director, this guy had been boxing for 10 years. He didn't conquer the audience with his films, but he defended his dignity with his fists. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you, my dear fans, for watching. See you next time.